Could it really be true? Could it really be true? We're going to end up with another Captain Marvel product, even after the catastrophic box office that this thing had as the Marvels. Brie Larson doesn't have any faith in it, at least based on her conversation with one of those Variety red carpet reporters. And I don't think anybody out there has the will or desire to see her in another Marvel movie. It's not just her, it's the character itself because, well, she's just not that interesting. And she certainly isn't cut out to lead anything going forward. After all, you've got the Fantastic Four coming out, and they should kind of be the leaders of the Marvel train for a while. Whether or not that turns out to be true is all, centered around whether or not that film is good. But unfortunately, we've got another rumor out there that Captain Marvel somehow returned. Coming at us from That Park Place, I have an article from John F. Trent that says, after the Marvel's catastrophic box office, Brie Larson's Captain Marvel rumored to be one of the main characters in Avengers Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday. Oof, what a terrible name for a film. A new rumor alleges that Brie Larson's Captain Marvel will be one of the main characters in Avengers Doomsday. Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus conducted a Q&A with his followers and was asked by one about when Captain Marvel will show up in the next Marvel Cinematic Universe. Perez responded that he wouldn't be surprised if she showed up in Spider-Man 4, to be honest. Well, yuck. We heard today, actually, from Tom Holland that it has a script that he looked at 3 weeks ago and it still needs work. Well, maybe that work is to somehow extricate Captain Marvel from it. I don't know. We'll see. And that's just me having a funny joke. But, however, according to Alex Perez, your best bet for the next appearance will be Avengers Doomsday, where she'll be one of the main characters in the movie. In response to another user who questioned if she would be leading the Avengers in Doomsday and Secret Wars, Perez replied, she'll be one of the leading Avengers in these movies. Yes. Larson addressed her future with Captain Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe back in February, where she was asked by Extra TV, can you tell us a little bit about Marvel and what's coming up for you in the next Marvel project? Larson replied simply, I don't have anything to say about that. Well, there you go. And if you would like, you can see the video response right there, where she looks incredibly fit. Look at that. The rumor comes in the wake of the Marvel's bombing at the box office. The film did not even gross $200 million, something that I talk about. And with that being worldwide, well, it didn't even come close to reaching even the production budget of $274.8 million when adjusted after the UK tax breaks. The numbers reported the film only grossed $84.5 million domestically, $115.2 internationally. The global total was $199.7 million. Analysts believe, that would be me as well, believe that Disney lost upwards of $200 million. Yes, Disney lost at least $200 million, if not much more. It's kind of like it was back-to-back-to-back terrible flops for them. Furthermore, there were reports that Larson was no longer interested in the role, which you go back to October of 2023 before the Marvels released to theaters. It was claimed that Larson had grown disillusioned with the role and did not want to return to it moving forward. I don't blame her. It doesn't seem like her fellow actors liked her very much if you observe those interviews very closely, and it doesn't seem like she was really getting it as the character. Joanna Robinson, author of MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, wrote in her book, the future of those Marvel icons was unclear. The departure of franchise anchors like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, and Scarlett Johansson had already taken its toll, as had the shocking loss of Chadwick Boseman, but other MCU stalwarts were heading for the exits. The Guardians of the Galaxy cast went on a farewell tour, Brie Larson grew disillusioned, and Marvel tussled with Sony in a custody battle over Tom Holland, which ultimately they figured out how to share. Well done. She also stated something interesting during an appearance on the Watch podcast. I don't know if Brie Larson was the wrong person for the role necessarily, but here we go, kids, toxic backlash means that Brie Larson doesn't want to play Carol Danvers anymore. The toxic backlash. That's what it was. That's sort of what she said. She was interviewed at D23, and they're like, so, we're all going to see a bunch more from Carol Danvers. She's like, I don't know. Does anyone want to see me play Carol Danvers? Doesn't seem like it. And it seems like she's reading the room. I would say that Larson has grown quite a bit in the last year or so. And I think she's kind of understanding that you cannot be the kind of person she was acting like and be beloved by the audience. I mean, there's only a handful of people that appreciate that. So at Disney's D23 Expo in September of 2022, Larson was asked how long she would play the character of Carol Danvers. She responded, I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again? You can understand where this comes from. She wasn't really beloved, and she got a lot of hassle for her poor behavior, her poor reaction to criticism, and just in general, her dour demeanor, I would imagine. When pressed more, she said, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an answer to that. While promoting the Marvels, she did indicate that there were more stories to be told. She was asked by Entertainment Tonight, is there anything you would still love to see her do that she hasn't quite done yet? And she replied, oh my goodness gracious, I think there's still so much inside of Carol. I feel like getting to be on this team cracked her open in a way that she hadn't been. And I really loved that for her. Like, I just loved her just letting the shoulders drop a little bit and not need to feel all the responsibility was on her. So I think that there's just so much more to go. I mean, that's just a great character to continue to grow with. Like, as I'm growing, she's growing. Well, at least she recognized that. Interestingly enough, she kind of said what everybody would have thought, which is there had to have been a ton of weight of her on her shoulders. She was having to be the figurehead. That's what she was being set up for. And she did have a lot of responsibility. And having all that leads to a dramatic amount of accountability, which she really doesn't like. Hopefully, she will move forward in her acting career and leave Captain Marvel behind her, because I don't feel like anybody wants that to happen. The question is, will it? I don't think so. I think Marvel has kind of learned its lesson at this point. I think they've figured out that they need to give the fans what they want, which is all that we've been saying out here in the fellowship for the course of the last 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. Giving us things that we will fundamentally reject will lead to problems for all of your projects going forward. And that doesn't really help anybody, especially the actors and especially the producers for these films, like Kevin Feige. He needs to get back to making comic book movies and not politically driven ones that drive away the main audience. But hey, what do you think? Do you think she shows up in Spider-Man 4 or Avengers Doomsday? Is it possible that she somehow fits into Secret Wars? Is there going to be a place for her to be, or is she going to be left out in the cold? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you don't mind, be sure to double check you're subscribed, because it turns out 70% of my viewers are not. And it's free, and it takes just a second to turn the little red button to gray. That's right, a subscriber can also turn on all notifications by hitting the notifications bell. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.